Hey everyone, my name is Nathila Vijayan, and I'm the founder and CEO of Med Discoveries, a youth organization that empowers high school students to write blogs on med discoveries, giving them exposure to a huge variety of fields in medicine. Follow at Med Discoveries on Instagram to join me on this incredible journey. I am excited to announce the launch of Med Discoveries Interviews, a new section where I will be hosting inspiring interviews with medical professionals. This presents a fantastic opportunity for high schoolers to explore various medical fields. Today, we are honored to have Ms. Shakaran with us today. Ms. Shakaran is a student at LeCom Med School studying osteopathic medicine, and I can't wait to get the details with her. Let's dive into the interview and learn from her experience. So the first question that I'm going to be asking today is, why did you become interested in the medical field?
Okay, so ever since I was a kid, I was really drawn to like helping the vulnerable populations, especially like being having immigrant parents. Being the daughter of immigrant parents, I've seen like so many conditions go unrecognized because of a lack of knowledge and a lack of like knowing how to seek help. I would say this is especially true when it comes to like mental health, when it comes to like pediatric, children's health. That was the case. I've also had like personal experiences. I had like eyesight issues as a kid that went undetected, and I like struggled with it for a while until it got diagnosed. So I would say like that was an incident that I went through that really like got me into like advocacy and like patient education, I would say. And also I would say a lot of my experiences have really like geared me towards like taking care of like the pediatric population, since they're very vulnerable, and I wanted to kind of be a first line advocate for them.
That's awesome. That's really inspiring. That's amazing. So of course, your specialty is osteopathic medicine. Could you maybe give us some background about that so that us high schoolers can understand?
Sure. So I would say that osteopathic medicine is kind of MD plus. And the reason I say that is because we learn, as DO students, we learn everything that the MD students learn. But along with that, we also have a special like subset. It's called osteopathic manipulative medicine. Like those are basically just like techniques that you can use. Like if someone has like neck pain, for example, like yes, you can give them medication. That would be from more of an allopathic perspective. And we believe in that too, but we also believe in like doing like other like specific techniques, kind of almost like a physical therapist or like a chiropractor, like different like therapeutic like modules, like different like therapeutic techniques to treat that neck pain versus just giving medication. So it's not just for neck pain. That was just an example. But when you like look at like all the systems of the body, like understanding like how the body works and like what kind of therapeutic models you can use along with medication to treat those.
Okay. So when did you become interested in osteopathic medicine, and what sparked your interest in this field?
Okay, so I actually had no idea that osteopathic medicine existed until my senior year of high school. I went to like this healthcare camp where they like basically like allowed like high school students who were interested in healthcare to explore different fields. And it was there that I actually got introduced to like osteopathic medicine. Up until that point, all I knew was MD. I didn't know any difference. But I remember like that osteopathic physician did show us like some techniques like on how to like alleviate like certain types of pain that don't need medication. But yeah, and also like I got accepted to an osteopathic school, so I would say from then on it kind of just it went along that way.
So for those interested in pursuing this field, what's the typical pathway that people take? And could you also outline the time frames for each step?
Sure. Yeah. So of course, as you know, high school, after you graduate high school, I mean, most people go to college. College is for 4 years, and during college, you would be taking if that is your path, you would be taking like pre-med classes. Like you have to take like OChem, biology, all of those stuff. I mean, you can major in anything that you want, but you just have to fulfill those pre-med requirements. And then medical school is for 4 years. And then after medical school, people go through residency, which is where they like train into like a specific kind of medicine where they choose their specialty. And residency can be 3 to 7 years, depending on whatever you pick. And then if you choose to train beyond that, that would be called a fellowship. And that's where you can like subspecialize even more. But I would point out that, you know, it's becoming more and more rare for people to follow this traditional path. I mean, I've met so many medical students who, you know, who have had like all kinds of backgrounds. Like I've met like former, you know, like nurses, PAs. I met like former engineers. You know, it's crazy like how many different like career paths people have taken. And in my case, I guess my path was a little bit different because I did go to medical school like after college, but I left for a bit, and in that time in my leave of absence, I got a master's degree, and then I went back to medical school later. So a year later. So, I mean, people take all kinds of paths. I mean, and it's becoming more and more rare for people to follow the traditional path. Yeah. But yeah, those are just like some like outline steps.
That's awesome. Okay. So can you describe a typical day in the life of an osteopathic medicine practitioner?
So this one is a little bit more difficult to answer because it really depends. I mean, it's honestly not that much different from an allopathic medical practitioner day in the life, but it also depends on, you know, what kind of specialty you're in. Because the thing is with like osteopathy and allopathy, they have the same specialties available to them. So it's really dependent on that, but I would assume that it's pretty much the same, except that there's like maybe like osteopathic techniques in each visit, maybe depending on if you choose to use it. So yeah, this question is a little bit tougher to answer because it really depends.
Okay. Also, so regarding my youth organization, Med Discoveries, can you share 3 new discoveries in osteopathic medicine? And what discovery do you think that could potentially improve the quality of life for more people?
Oh, there's a lot of discoveries going on. So, like one of them was, I mean, the big hit is like managing chronic pain with like OMT versus, you know, opioids. So that's a huge thing. So and also along with that, you know, the study, you know, like the studies have looked at like racial disparities, like people coming from from minority backgrounds are less likely to be, to be given like OMM, like osteopathic manipulative techniques. So there's also like a lot of like there's racial disparities within osteopathic medicine too, and also another big one is like OMT, like the use of like osteopathic manipulative techniques and also headache, like, you know, different techniques that you can use along with like migraines and tension headaches. A famous one is suboccipital release. And also like the impact of like osteopathic manipulative of those like cranial techniques on like mental health. That's also a pretty big topic in osteopathic medicine. But yeah, there's so many discoveries, and I think that all three of the ones that I listed are really going to benefit people, especially the one with like racial disparities. I think really having, you know, like really being cognizant of that is, you know, creates better practitioners, more empathetic, personal practitioners.
Yeah, that's true. And everything that you said was really cool for me to hear too. And definitely based on what you said, yeah, I think all of them can make quite a bit of difference on what, like for the people, definitely for sure. Mm-hmm. So lastly, as a medical student, what advice would you give to high school students interested in pursuing a medical career?
I would say that, dream big, keep the end goal in mind and don't lose sight of that. Let everything else fall underneath that and you'll be fine.
That's great. Thank you so much, Ms. Shakerin, for your valuable insights about osteopathy with us today. If you enjoyed this interview, don't forget to like, share, and leave a comment. And stay tuned for more enlightening interviews coming your way. See you guys next time.